In this episode of Film Stock Reviews, I'm reviewing episode 2 of The Mayor of Kingstown, titled The End Begins. Now, The End Begins is really interesting because we see the ramifications that happened in the very first episode of this show, Mayor of Kingstown. The ramifications are huge, really, really huge. It's insane. And when Jeremy Renner's character is front and center all of a sudden, he tries to understand what to do because, his brother Mitch was more so of the nicer kind, did things differently, but then Mike does everything not by the book. He just is just a force to be reckoned with. He doesn't give a shit, and he does things his way. And the whole dynamic between Mike and his mother, Miriam, is shown in this episode and even in the previous episode, but we really don't get the dynamic of, trying to understand what happened. Mike wanted to leave the town, but he just couldn't because, it's just pulling him back in. And I did not mention this in my episode 1 review, but I'm mentioning it now. Mike is a former felon. So people are probably curious, who are these people? Why are they so powerful in this small town? Well, if you watch the show, then you'll understand why they're so powerful. And, Mike comes to his agreement of understanding what's happening when, Mitch tried to, help him out in a way, so to speak. But Mike's character, Jeremy Renner, is really, really interesting in this. He's trying to help people, but he doesn't want to help people to a point where he can't help everyone. And the whole dynamic of understanding how things work is interesting because they keep telling him you're going to die and you're going to meet a certain fate, but he doesn't want to accept it. So basically, I think this is foreshadowing what happens to Mike's character in this show. I mean, if they do come up with a second season, I'll be surprised if they do. But, this show is really, really good for its writing. Taylor Sheridan, who created Yellowstone, does a phenomenal job with the dialogue, the banter, the writing, the back and forth, and it's crazy. And as I mentioned in the episode 1 review for Mayor of Kingstown, I said that we were introduced to someone named Milo, who is sitting in the background, and we don't know who he is until, because, like I said, Mitch had to go get this money that was buried and so forth. But we do find out who Milo is, and that actor is played by Aidan Gillian, who you don't know was in Game of Thrones. And we know that he's the villain in this right away. He's front and center. And he wants to tempt Mike in a certain way, so to speak. So we're also introduced to this woman character named by the name of Iris. I bet she's like a prostitute or something, but she's put into this to try and get money or somehow try to get something back from Milo that Mike has. But I'm pretty sure Mike doesn't want to listen. This episode was interesting. It was very, very short. The very first episode, it was 66 minutes long, and this is about 50 to 55 minutes long. It's on Paramount Plus. You can check it out. It's quick. It's simple. It's straight to the point. And it's a crime. It's a crime thriller show. And the character of Mike McCluskey that Jeremy Renner plays is so crazy and so out of this world, just doesn't give a shit. It's really fun to watch. It really, really is. Because he just does things on a whim, and it's really great. Seeing Jeremy Renner in a role like this is fantastic. And there is a metaphor about always feeding a hungry bear. And when you feed that hungry bear, something happens. Well, for Mike, he always likes to go to a cabin that's in the woods, and he just sits there, reminisces, and all the while a bear always comes out and eats off of a trash can lid. And so in order to do something about it, Mike buys French fries, two 40-pound bags of French fries, a bucket of bacon, fat, grease, oil, puts it out in front, pours it over, and just sits there and waits. But before then, he goes to a gun shop or a hunting shop, and he buys a bow and arrow, just to shoot the bear or kill the bear. But we don't know what happens. The homage to Jeremy Renner's character Mike buying a bow and arrow and him playing Hawkeye in the Marvel series was hilarious and funny. I loved how they did that. And I'm pretty sure the creator, Taylor Sheridan, and Jeremy Renner did get a kick out of it, and it's really, really fun. I love this episode, and so far I love what this show is doing. It's different, and for Taylor Sheridan, it's great. And I do want to mention that even though this is created by Taylor Sheridan, Antoine Fuqua and Jeremy Renner are also executive producers for this show, which is why this show is crazy. It's a gritty show, it's in your face, and it's really, really fun. I feel like this first season is 10 episodes long because that's all you can fit is 10 episodes. It comes out weekly on Paramount Plus. It premiered November 14th, 2021. I'm excited to see how this show plays out. Who lives, who dies, what happens to the McCluskey family, because anything is possible. Because if you're a powerful family in a small town or in a small city, something's destined to happen to you. And what that is, we don't know yet, but I'm really curious to find out. So let me know in the comment section below what you thought about episode 2, The End Begins of Mayor of Kingstown. Did you like it? Did you not like it? What did you think of it? And also, do you think that Mike's character is going in a way you think he wanted to go, even though he was a convicted felon who is out now for doing his crime? And let me know in the comment section below about the questions I just asked. And I'll see you guys next week for my review of episode 3 of The Mayor of Kingstown. And I'll see you guys in the next review video.